Okay, this is going to be jam-packed but short video to share a little bit of what's going on with me and to encourage those of you guys who are underneath intense spiritual warfare right now. This is a season of transition, a metamorphosis time. I've been prophesying into this. And listen, during transition comes a lot of spiritual warfare. So if you are transitioning into new levels of glory, into new levels of influence, or if the Lord is preparing you to release next level prosperity, just a next level assignment, I have found time and time again in transition, the warfare gets stepped up. Okay. I mean, and some of you are like, well, what is spiritual warfare? Spiritual warfare can sometimes not even be pinpointed exactly what is going on, but it's the pressure, it's the anxiety, it's the battles with fear, it is the something's not right, it is the, overeating out of stress or hardly able to eat from the anxiety, like that you are being tempted to turn to other comforters. You're being tempted to give up. You are being, hard pressed on every side. And you're like, what is going on, Lord? And so it's a time of prayerfulness. And it's a time of stretching our faith. And I really, really, really want to encourage you, because I have learned this over time. This is what I love about spiritual warfare. When you have grown to the place where you really trust the Lord's goodness and you trust God, doesn't mean you don't slip up and you don't have a little bit of, you're going to have some angst when you're in the middle of a battle. The soldiers can be brave and they can be going out on the battlefield courageous and obedient and following the commands of their commanding officer. But when you've got bullets being shot at you, it can be a little bit scary. And so the Lord tests us in our areas of weakness, for starters. He is growing us in wisdom through this. He is teaching us to rely on Him and to press into His grace. And you have got to spend more time in His presence. And the thing I have found about spiritual warfare is I have a really hard time when I'm in intense spiritual warfare of sitting peacefully and calmly in the presence of God. I don't know about you guys, but I don't find it as easy to slip into the intensest part of spiritual warfare, the just sitting, relaxing in the presence of God. I have to war into that place. You have to fight to even get into that place. You might sit down with your Bible 3 or 4 times, can't get a sentence out because you're you're in this battle. You're like, what? I don't know what's going on here, God. I can't sit quietly in your presence, Lord. Go exercise, go do some physical activity, clean your house and pray in the Spirit. Clean your house and praise the Lord. You don't have to sit still in His presence in those times of battle. Sometimes the fact that you can't sit still in His presence is because that is not what is needed, Sometimes you can't sit still because what is needed is a shout of praise. You need to clap and you need to make a joyful noise and you need to make declarations and you need to say things and you need to exercise and move your body and get some of the physical, adrenaline going to produce the endorphins that you need to kind of press past the physical aspect of the anxiety that's coming against you. And so as you're doing that, I'm just kind of giving you some pointers of what I do. Pray in the Spirit if you have the gift of tongues. Pray in the Spirit if you have the gift of tongues. I prayed in the Spirit for a while yesterday morning. I had such anxiety. Okay, I've been telling you guys, I'm looking for a new caregiver. It's a transition time. We're launching a school. We're launching a church. We're stepping out in faith and signing this lease. We signed this lease that is quadrupling the rent of the ministry. I was like, and hiring a sitter for more hours is what I believe I'm supposed to do. And so there's like a financial stretch going on, a faith stretch going on, finding somebody I trust. It's a lot as a mother, and I'm very maternal. And, then so there's, a little bit of the, struggle of even having a sitter at all, let alone one that I trust. And so I had a really bad experience. Our summer sitter had to leave early. She had a change of plans, and so she wasn't able to go all the way through August. And we loved her. I had really just finally gotten in to where I just was at peace with her. I didn't even check in on them. I knew she was good. And I'm like, don't leave. Don't leave. Please, no. You know, when you're in transition, sometimes you are hanging on to that comfortable thing or want to, and you just can't. You got to let it go. I didn't have a choice. And so I'm looking for another sitter, and I'm interviewing people. And so I thought me and my husband need to go on a date night. That was like the last video I did. We went on a date. And as we are sitting, I hired somebody, had checked her reference. It was good. And she had 2 references online. Well, she showed up, and I'm not a judgmental, critical person. Wearing kind of like a mini skirt and sleeveless tops and tattoos. And the tattoos weren't pretty. Like, they were kind of scary looking. And so I'm like, piercing. I'm not like, I don't want to judge people by their outward appearance, but it made me a little bit like, just, okay, God, I'm trusting you here. But I'm looking in on them because I have nanny cams. Well, she was on her phone. She wasn't paying attention to the baby. And then the baby does this thing when she wants out of the chair that she Kong, she'll bang her head, and she started crying, and she kind of took her hand and like irritatedly jerked it. It wasn't abuse, but I was like, oh, get in the car. We gotta go. And so I'm like freaking out. We got our sushi to go. It hadn't even arrived yet. We're driving home. I'm like, I can't see her. I'm like driving, looking at the nanny cam going, I can't see what's going on. And you know, you hear the toy going. I was maybe a little bit more anxious than I had to be, you know. But anyway, so I got there, and I'm like shaking because this was already hard for me. And I like had the money. I'm like, just get out of my house. Like, I wasn't very Christian about it. I'm like, get out, just get out. You know, like, and she's like, what? And I'm like, you were on your phone. You were rough with my daughter. She's like, I want to see it. Well, I couldn't go back on the camera because I had tried, like, because I wanted to re-look at it just to make sure I saw what I saw. And I couldn't, it wouldn't go back. Like, it wouldn't go back. And so I couldn't show her. I'm like, I just want you to leave my house. Like, here's your money, which Dave said that was very gracious of you. And I had shorted her a few dollars because I wasn't going to overpay her by $17. And so I'm like, this is what you get. I had to come home early. My sushi is here. We didn't get to sit and eat. Like, just get out. And I think really I wanted to get her out because I was a little concerned I might go gangster on her. So I was trying to be gracious and like, Lord, help me grow in that area, you know, like my daughter. And so this obviously is an area where I need some growth and trust and just the law of spiritual warfare surrounding not being with my daughter 24/7. And working for, you know, going to have a sitter full time, which I know that it's what I need to do, and with the right person it's going to be great. But so this happened, and so then when the sitter who I hired for a trial week to come on Monday came, I'm already a little bit you know, not in the best place with the whole new sitter thing. But I'm like, I'm going to be home, working from home, just kind of observing you guys, you know, for the week and getting comfortable. And she seemed pretty good with her, you know, but one of the things I'm checking on is, are you on your phone? I can sit there and work on my computer and ignore my daughter. I'm not paying somebody to come to my house and be on the phone. Like, period. You cannot be on the phone here. And so I was just mostly checking for that. And then like when I ran some errands here and there, and I would look in, and she was always kind of sitting where you couldn't tell on the camera. She knew where the cameras were. So that, I was like, is she on her phone? I don't know. I just wasn't feeling peace Monday, but I'm like giving it some time. She seemed pretty good with her. Tuesday, she came in and she's like, I want to start taking your daughter to the library in the morning, and then we'll come back and she'll have lunch and I'll put her down for a nap. So she's like telling me the way she wants to do this is to take my daughter from my house on outing all morning and bring her back for lunch and then put her down. And I'm like, no, I'm not okay with that. I mean, I might be okay once I'm comfortable with somebody, them going to the library or the park, you know, here and there. But she was like wanting to establish that as their routine. And I'm like, how is that beneficial to me or her in any way? She's like, well, they have story hour. I'm like, that's what I'm paying you to do. You read to her the books that she likes in my house where I can see you. And so right then when I was like, I'm like, I don't think so. And she's like, well, she might want to interact with other kids. And I'm like, no, she's not even 2. I go to the gym. She's not interested in other kids yet. And if I wanted her to be out of the house with other kids, I would pay half what I'm paying you to send her to daycare. I didn't say that. You guys, I know I'm kind of rambling. I think I needed somebody to talk to about this too. It's coming out, but it is about the spiritual warfare thing. I'm just sharing my story, what's going on with me this week. So she acted kind of put out by that, and I thought, okay, we'll see if she can accept it, because I think her other family let her go out a lot with the kids. I don't know if she's running errands or what, but she's younger. I'm not saying she was doing horrible things, but that was not what I had in mind. So I was woken. So yesterday she asked me during her nap, she messaged me and said, can I turn the air down? It's hot. I said, go for it. So last night I was awoken. It was cold and I was wide awake, really stressing. A lot of you might say, I got insomnia. You wake up, you have anxiety. Pray. You've got to get up and pray. God is trying to get something through you. There is an issue. You might have somebody in your life who says, you're too emotional, or you're too this, you're too that. But really what it is you're spiritually sensitive, and there is something you need to pray through. Yeah, it may be some of your own issues, but also there's other stuff going on, and you got to pay attention to that. When you are in angst, when something's not right, you pray through it. Take it seriously, even if other people don't take you seriously. Don't just blow it off. So I was up praying last night, an hour and a half, came down and ate some bread, because I'm fixing to just start this holistic weight loss thing where I can't be eating bread like that. So I had some bread, and I'm praying and I'm pacing and I'm doing spiritual warfare. I hardly went back to sleep. I might have slept another hour on and off, just really. And long story short, she was here today, and when she took her on a walk, again, I was just kind of trying to observe her. And she took her on a walk, and she came in and she said, I don't think this is going to work. I can tell you don't trust me. And I'm like, I kind of want to be able to go out, and do stuff. I don't see just staying in here all day. And I'm like, okay, yeah, she says, this is my last day. And I was like, actually, let me go to the bank and get your pay. You can leave now. So that's what happened with me today. And at first I was like, the thought was, I lost a good caregiver. She was going to teach her Spanish. And then I was just like, hold on. Okay. So if this is not enough, I get on care.com to go see what else there is. And I can't get on. And I checked my email, and they're like, your account has been suspended. And I looked and I realized the lady who had been rough with my daughter, eating my food and sitting on the couch on her phone when she wasn't supposed to be. I don't know what she said, but she called care.com when she left here, and so that I couldn't leave her a bad review, had lied on me, I guess, and had my account suspended. So, I'm telling you this, and I feel like it is by the Spirit, because when stuff like this happens, if you don't know the goodness of God, you can be like, oh no, what is going on? How am I going to fix this? But I'm like, okay. I did send them an email and let them know what happened. I'm like, this is really a bad policy of yours not to check with the employer to see what happened, because abusive caregivers could do this and then not have a review, and other parents be left in the dark. Which was, the thing was, I hadn't left her a review yet because I was sitting on it and I was praying into it, and I didn't feel comfortable. I was going to say she was eating our food and wasn't paying attention to the daughter. I wasn't going to say anything about her jerkily moving the arm, because I could only see it once. And I know it was, from a little bit of a distance. And when I came home, the chip was gone. She could have stolen the chip. We thought of every avenue where else that chip had went. My niece was here. Maybe she took it, although my sister said that absolutely couldn't happen. So I think she even took the chip out of my nanny cam, but I can't be sure, and I like to believe the best. And so I thought, maybe my eyes missaw it, and I needed to see it again before I actually left the review. And so I wasn't even going to leave that. I was going to leave her a bad review based on the facts that I was sure about. And, but anyway, I can't get on there now. So, you guys, I'm launching a church and a school this fall, need childcare. This is the enemy coming against me. You guys, the enemy is going to come against you so hard to try to starve out your resources, that try to block your help from getting to you. A lot of times when you just take a step of faith financially and are doing something for the Lord, your finances get hit. Some of that's happened. And, but God's been giving me strategy, and I'm not concerned about any of it. I'm not going to be concerned about any of it. And I actually felt so much relief when she left. And I know that me being up last night was what compelled her to leave. And it just hit me. This is what made me, I was like, I got to get on and tell this story. So last night, it was cold in my house at night, which is unusual. And I went down and tried to turn the heater up, and it wouldn't turn up, and it wouldn't turn off. The heater would not turn off. I had to go and I had to switch the breaker to turn it off. The Lord just spoke to me right before I got on. And he said, this was confirmation, because she had said your house is too hot. The reason why your spirit was so shaken, with her there, is she is very resistant to me. God was telling me she's very resistant to me. And the heat, her being there, literally was going to freeze. It was going to freeze things. It was going to freeze things. And just the fact that my air conditioner froze, and I'm not believing that there's anything wrong with my air conditioner. It was a sign from the Lord that it would not turn off. It was just going to get colder and colder and colder with her staying. And I don't even know. I mean, who knows? Maybe she really did want to take her to the library every day. My guess is she wanted to kind of run errands and do her own thing. I don't know. But, it doesn't make any sense. I can only speculate, believe the best. Even if she wanted to take her to the library every day, that's not what I had wanted. So, that's out. All this to say, I don't have the end of the story yet, but it's going to be good. God has somebody prepared to help us. And that person's going to come, and if they don't unfreeze my care.com account, it's because it's not through that door. The door was shut. The door was shut. And I kind of feel like I can just prophetically or intuitively say, I think that door is shut for a reason. That God allowed that because he has a caregiver somewhere else to come from, another mean other than that, for right now, and that they'll probably unfreeze that at some point, but that for me, I can see a closed door and look elsewhere. And so I'm praying into that for strategy. And one of the things I was thinking yesterday, as I am desperately trying to get my house cleaned up for 2 hours, and I'm doing all this cleaning and she's watching my daughter, I'm like, why am I paying somebody to watch my daughter while I get my house in order? Wouldn't it make more sense to pay somebody to come get my house in order while I watch my daughter and kind of work a little bit some of the hours? So there's just a lot of new strategy that I'm thinking into, praying into, asking the Lord, what's the best way to handle the resource that I have to go out towards this? If God's called you to do something, he will provide the resources. He will provide the resources. And I have promises from the Lord. When he gave me this call to family and ministry, he showed me very distinctly that he would provide care that was as adequate as if it was, it was in-home care. I feel like he promised me that. I mean, I watched something from Billy Graham's daughter, not at all talking bad about him, but there's a lot of ministers. It's a very, very consuming job, ministry, because you're praying, you're fasting, you're carrying weight, you're working. It's not just 40 hours. It's I'm up at night answering emails, I'm praying about stuff, I'm counseling people. It's your family has to do some sacrificing. But one thing I had asked the Lord is I don't want to travel without my husband and my kids for any length of time, a lot. And I don't want to have my kids out of the home, And I felt like he had promised me that. One of Billy Graham's daughters actually had some divorces and a lot of rejection wounds from her dad not being there, hardly. And I thought, why not ask the Lord that I don't have to choose between my family and my ministry, and believe him for that. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm also in the process. Dave, my husband, said, you were like, if you want something done, ask a busy person to do it, because I'm launching 2 new businesses this week. And so I am like asking for financial strategy to cover costs, to get help, for myself. And anyway, the Lord is stretching us. Our capacity to receive for him, what we think we can do, our insecurities, what we lean on, thinking we need this for help and that door shut, and then we sit there looking at it and feeling bad. And we got to get past all that to this victorious mindset that no matter what, we're more than conquerors, and God is working good. And you might have to stay up some nights and pray, and you might have to press in and go through some loss and have some hurt and get some battle scars, but you keep pressing in and believing the Lord's word is true. It is true. It is true. And the season of warfare isn't forever. You're going to come out, I believe wholeheartedly, the enemy's plan cannot stop God, and that God, the enemy, doesn't see everything. He's hearing this now probably, but he doesn't see that God has somebody for me somewhere else. He's just trying to block, trying to stop, trying to stunt, trying to trip you up. But you got to believe. You've got to continue to believe. God is working it all for good. He's working it all for good. He's not letting the enemy doing anything to us that can bring us any true harm. Enemy ain't harming me. God has what I need. And so we just got to believe that. Got to believe that. And I actually feel at more peace now, although I know how this warfare thing goes, and I know I'm not fully past it, and so it might hit me again in a couple of hours or something, and I'll press on through. But you guys keep pressing, keep praying, keep believing, ask for strategy. When one door shuts, ask, what is the strategy? Where is it that you're sending me? Show me where to go. Show me what to do. Show me how to do it. Okay, so that form of income shut down. I lost this job. That slowed down. What else do you have for me? God, show me what to do. Show me what to do. I'm breathing, David. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm breathing and I'm helping lots of people at the same time. It is absolute, sometimes I use words wrong, so I have to say it's so easy when you're observing somebody else who is in the middle of a battle, and you are at that place where you've just overcome one, or you're, in a different place, to look and be like, calm down, y'all, just stay cool and calm like me. You just wait about 3 days and then we'll talk. Because we all go through it, Jesus, we need him. We need him. We don't go underneath our emotions, but we have them, and there's nothing wrong with having them. And a lot of times our emotions are alerting us to stuff, that we need to deal with. So we are in this together. I just pray strategy. I knew you'd laugh at that, David. Oh, Lord, help us. I thank you, God, for protecting us. And even though it seems like, this person got one over on me, they might think they got one over, Satan might think he got one over, God has the last laugh. He's got us. All things are working together for our good. I pray Holy Spirit power, strength, and that you would just be empowered to keep stepping forward, because that transition's happening. And I already told you guys there's going to be some detours between now and like the 16th and 18th of August. And God is expanding us. And there is going to be increase if you keep pressing through and obey the Lord. Okay? Love you guys. I love you guys. Still offering one-on-one counseling, although there'll be evening sessions until I have childcare when my husband's home. And I'm doing that to raise money for our trip to Africa. You can go on my website. And the registration for the Holistic Weight Loss Challenge is still open to women. And through August the 6th, that is a donation of $100. Put Weight Loss Challenge and then go to Eat to Live Holistic Weight Loss Challenge. It's a closed group and we'll invite you in. I just did my first video today. I've put lots of videos on there, but I did like a longer launch video today. We're starting tomorrow, but taking new people in through the 6th of August. Bless you. Love you guys. Pray for me. I'll be praying for you guys.